Oh my goodness, you guys, it feels so good to be back. Even though it's only been like 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, but I had to do a live show, especially since, in case you missed it, the Phoenix Suns made a trade. We're going to dive all into that in a little bit. We're going to talk about a little bit of Suns news. Quick disclaimer though, I tweeted this out before I went live. This is going to be a very short live show. And I know I always say that, and then we end up going like an hour or an hour and a half. But for real, this is going to be a very short live show. Just kind of want to cover this trade, talk a little bit about Summer League, and then I'm going to go watch Deadpool 1 and 2, and then enjoy my weekend pretty much. Unless there's more Suns news, which maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit. So I'm going to try to keep this show at least 30 minutes long. And I'm sorry about that. But I also did a follow-up tweet saying that we literally have like 2.5 months to do very, very long live shows. And speaking of that, I have a lot planned for August. That's all I'm going to say. So anyways, you guys aren't here for that. You guys are here to have me talk about the trade that we just made. And in case you guys missed it, check this out, you guys. Adrian Wojnarowski earlier today reported that David Roddy has been traded to the Atlanta Hawks. And is this like a salary dump, if you will, kind of trade? We're going to talk about EJ Liddell in a minute here, but I don't even know if he's going to play for us. That's the thing. So, first off, and I'm going to pull up their contracts in a minute, because this is kind of at least what I believe that the trade is all about, if I'm correct. Now, who knows? Maybe something will change. Maybe EJ Liddell does play for us, but I highly doubt that happens. I don't know. I don't see it happening. So real quick, like I said, this might be like the Suns are kind of saving. What I've seen kind of floating around on Twitter and stuff is the Suns could potentially save, I believe, about $3 million from this trade. And that's where Bobby Marks from ESPN comes in. So he brought up earlier the contracts for EJ Liddell and David Roddy, who they're pretty much similar. So to Phoenix, the Phoenix Suns, at least in theory, are getting EJ Liddell for $2.1 million and a $2.3 million team option. And then the Hawks are getting David Roddy, $2.8 million and $4.8 million with also a team option. And then Atlanta has until Halloween, literally the day of Halloween, to exercise David Roddy's option. So both players pretty much make similar millions of dollars. They pretty much make the same amount, except for David Roddy makes $2 more million in year 2. But they both have team options, so that way the team can say, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna exercise your contract. We're gonna keep you and everything." Or they can just waive them or let them go or trade them or whatever. I believe that's how it works. Not really a salary cap expert, but that's sort of, I think, the whole point of this trade. I do not see EJ Liddell. I almost said David Roddy. I do not see EJ Liddell playing for the Phoenix Suns. And that's just not my personal opinion, because John Gambadoro, who is very plugged in with the Phoenix Suns and has gotten a lot of stuff right in the past and will continue to get stuff right for the Phoenix Suns. You know, longtime radio broadcaster for Arizona sports, John Gambadoro, says David Roddy wasn't going to make the Suns' final roster, and I doubt that EJ Liddell does either. And then, now look, first off, I'm not sure if I fully agree with not EJ. I don't know if I fully agree with John Gambadoro that he wasn't going to make the final roster. I could have seen him. I guess what I'm saying is I don't think he would have played much, but I could have seen him make the roster. You know what I mean? But this is more about EJ Liddell here. And then John Gambadoro has a follow-up tweet to that. I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. Here's where it really comes into play. And I believe John Gamadora was on the air earlier. I haven't had a chance to listen to what he said yet, but he says this. At least on Twitter, this is what he's saying. Can you guys see that okay? Let me make sure y'all can see that okay. Okay, cool. So he says, the Suns can waive and stretch EJ Liddell before the end of August or cut, I think he meant to say cut him, and take the full cap hit and not have any dead money on the books. The Suns will save $5 million in tax. So yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, I believe with the Phoenix Suns making this trade, they can now save $3 to $5 million in tax money. And you're probably like, okay, Suns Geek, we don't care about the tax. It's not our money. What is the point of all this? Well, if I am gathering everything up, if I am processing everything here correctly, it means that the Phoenix Suns can go out and get another player, a veteran player, maybe a veteran point guard. Because the way I look at it, especially with everything we did in the draft, with free agency, the point guard has to be the position we're going to go after. Now, I know the hot name right now is Tyus Jones, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am not in the mindset right now to even talk about Tyus Jones. But in short, Tyus Jones is an incredible point guard, one of the best point guards in the league. I wish we could get him. I wish we would have already gotten Tyus Jones, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation. I just don't know how likely it is. Now, maybe this changes things. Maybe David Roddy being traded and the $5 million that we're saving or whatever, and all the moves we made in the draft and free agency, maybe this means that somehow, some way, that Matt Ishbia, James Jones, I believe he's our new salary cap guru guy, Matt Tellem, I believe his name is. Maybe they can somehow find a way to swing and sign Tyus Jones here. Maybe that would be incredible. But I think Tyus Jones might want to take more money, especially since this offseason, we've seen a lot of guys like opt out of contracts and kind of, quote, hit the free agent market, only to be like a couple weeks later just re-sign with their team for a decent amount of money. We've seen a lot of that. And a good example of that, or maybe it's not the best example, but it's an example, like Malik Monk, for example. You know, he was one of the kind of like hot free agents or whatever. I believe he opted out and then got a huge payday by the Kings. And we've seen a lot of other players that I'm completely forgetting about that just, they were a free agent for a little bit, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna stay put, sign with our team, work out a new deal. Tyus Jones is a free agent, last played for the Wizards last season. Clearly they are in year 1.5, year 2 of a full rebuild. And, you know, they're going extremely young, and Tyus Jones doesn't need to be on that team. But Tyus Jones does need to be on our team, because that would just be amazing. Because then Suns fans could really quit complaining about not having a point guard, even though we do got Monte Morris, but he's like more of a backup point guard. But at least the Phoenix Suns are addressing the point guard thing, right? So real quick, you guys, I just want to talk about David Roddy just real quick, and then we'll kind of focus a little more. We'll stay on the conversation and everything. So I wasn't surprised. First off, I wasn't surprised that David Roddy was traded. And to kind of segue with, you know, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words here. I wasn't surprised that David Roddy was traded. And I also wasn't surprised that David Roddy played in Summer League. Now, I have sort of a point here. If you are an Atlanta Hawks fan and you don't know much about David Roddy, who I'm assuming is probably going to be with the Hawks this upcoming season and could probably get a lot of minutes over there. More thoughts on that later. I was a little surprised he played in Summer League. He was sort of like our veteran on the Summer League team. And that's sort of my point here, what I want to talk about. And I took like some raw notes. I I actually sat down and watched a lot of Suns Summer League film, and I kept a big eye on David Roddy. And I was even tweeting about this earlier. Follow me on Twitter, by the way. I I think David Roddy played pretty well in Summer League. Now that doesn't mean just because he played well in Summer League, that means he deserves a roster spot on a championship contender like the Phoenix Suns. And yes, NBA Twitter, we are a championship contender, okay? Anyways, but I think he played well. He kind of struggled in game one as I was watching that with some of my boys and everything. He did struggle a little bit in the first Suns Summer League game. But then it seemed like after that, it seemed like he found his jump shot. He was smarter with the ball. He was more aggressive, but not like crazy aggressive. Because that was one thing I saw in that first Suns Summer League game was he was just like attacking the basket every 5 minutes, trying to draw fouls. And I think he turned the ball over a lot. I feel like he struggled in game one. But after game two, seemed a lot more calm, aggressive, but not too out of control, and started to find the shot and competed on defense. And like I'm looking at like my raw notes and everything. Like I took note. We're gonna talk about like Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro a little bit later. But like I took some raw notes and I pretty much just wrote down like David Roddy can play. He can play basketball. He's in the NBA for a reason. But I just think he needs time and opportunity. And maybe now that he's going to, and I'm going to put this in quotations, a rebuilding Hawks team, question mark. I mean, they did just trade DeJounte Murray. They still have Trae Young, but they did just trade DeJounte Murray. Maybe that he played Summer League. You know, he's sort of bounced around a little bit. Maybe now he'll kind of turn into his own player and find a role and find a home on this team. And as Trevor Bailey says right here, you have to showcase him exactly like, I'm sure he did that for himself as well. Like, hey, I can actually play NBA teams. This is what I can do. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is I really do wish David Roddy the best. I wasn't surprised that he got traded, but I'm just curious what's going to happen next. Like, are we going to wake up tomorrow or on Sunday or this week, sometime this week, and the Suns have signed a point guard or whoever? Like, I've seen Markelle Fultz's name floating around and Tyus Jones, and there's probably another point guard that I'm completely forgetting about. We will see. I don't know, you guys. But I just hope that it works out for David Roddy, because the Hawks are just in a weird spot, in my opinion. I'm not going to spend too much time on the Hawks, but obviously they traded DeJounte Murray earlier this offseason. I think they got back. I think they got back like Larry Nance, Dyson Daniels, and like draft picks or something like that. Trae Young's probably not going anywhere, but like, do they finally move on from Clint Capella? Do they move on from DeAndre Hunter? Jalen Johnson, by the way, if you do not know who Jalen Johnson is on the Hawks, he is a monster, one of the best rim runners, super athletic player, had a really good season too, despite him getting injured, I believe. So the Hawks are sort of in a weird position. They just drafted number 1 overall pick, Zachariah Rireche. I probably just butchered that name. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what the Hawks are doing, but I think David Roddy can play there if they keep him, which I'm sure they would. But yeah, moral of the story, you guys, is this pretty much seems like a salary dump. And it seems like the Suns now have a spot and a little bit of money to go get somebody. And as much as I really want Tyus Jones, I'm just like, I don't know if we can afford that guy, man. Unless he's like, I want to win a championship. I want to be in Phoenix. I'll take whatever money. You know? Real quick, you guys, I didn't even thank you all for being here. By the way, we got 84 people in here. Shout out to my guy, Sir Hamo from the Suns Planet podcast. Make sure to Hulk smash that like button, everybody. Near the end of the show, I'm going to talk about why I haven't done so many live shows lately. But in short, I've just been super busy with life And let's be real, it's the off season. There hasn't been that much like real Suns news. Let's be real. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. Okay, guys. Gambo implied we release EJ at least by the end of next month and pick up a player for the last spot. Exactly. Yeah, like I did see those tweets and everything. I haven't really listened to what Gambo said, but again, like I trust Gambo, and he's been right about a lot of stuff, and he covers this team. He has sources and connections with this team, and I trust what Gambo was saying. I just don't know if we can get Tyus Jones, y'all. But hey, maybe Markelle Fultz. Maybe that's a conversation for another time. We will see. Still, maybe somebody else out there that I'm probably forgetting about. And real quick, you guys, just a thought here. I'm recording this July 26th. Obviously, the Olympics just started today. We just got done with Summer League a couple weeks ago. I know it sounds like a long time, but training camp's going to be here in like what, a couple of months, like early October, I believe. Like a lot could happen from today to early October. I know it's a couple months away. Eventually we're going to hit the dog days of the NBA where like nothing's going on. There's like no news and we're all bored and the Olympics are over and all that. But like, I don't know. Something could happen, y'all. We'll see. Like, I didn't think David Roddy was going to get traded today, and it happened. I don't know. Okay, guys. Let's keep moving on here. So let me just get to a couple more things before we kind of put a bow on this David Roddy conversation. And, you know, like we've been talking about, one of my favorite follows on Twitter, AZ Sports Zone, formerly known as Zona Hoops, pretty much said what we've all been saying. Tax move on the margins. All I see, cheaper to cut Liddell than it would have been to cut Roddy. That's pretty much what we've all been talking about, what John Gamadoro reported on and everything. And this is definitely a tax move. And again, maybe this is Matt Tellem, who was like our salary cap kind of expert guy who just got into the front office not too long ago. Maybe this is one of his first like big moves, if you will. Even though I'm sure like James Jones and Matt Ishbia are the guys that are signing off on all this stuff, but I'm sure that he's helping them orchestrate moves like this. Continuing on, just a quick tweet here from Dwayne Rankin from Arizona, the Arizona Republic, Arizona Central, whatever you want to call it. In the unlikely event that we keep EJ Liddell, which I highly doubt we will, in Summer League, averaged 7.8 points per game, 33% shooting from the field, 4 rebounds, and shot a miserable 21.4% from 3. Now, in all fairness, I don't think he played much when he was with the Pelicans. And then I think he had an injury or like I think he missed like a lot of last season or the season before, something like that. But he was really good coming out of college. I think he was like the 40th or 41st pick or whatever. And, you know, he's young, still has a lot of upside. I just highly doubt we keep him. But definitely is an intriguing prospect. So we'll have to see, but I doubt we keep him. Okay, guys. Anything else on this EJ Liddell, David Roddy stuff? I guess the final thing is I want to read you guys a quote. Again, if you're an Atlanta Hawks fan, you're like, I do not know much about David Roddy. Suns Geek, tell me about him. I read this quote earlier. I was kind of looking back at like a couple old articles on David Roddy. And this is a quote from James Jones here. Don't pigeonhole him into a specific role. Allow him to grow in different spaces on the floor because he has the physicality to play up in size, and he has the awareness and physical traits to play down in size on the perimeter. But more importantly, he has the desire to just be a winner, Jones said. And when you do that, that's the definition of a role player who can become a really special role player for you. That's James Jones. I believe that was around, it was like a couple days after we traded for him. So that's David Roddy, y'all. Didn't get much of a run in Phoenix. Played okay for Memphis when he was there for the short amount of time he was there. A wing player who just plays hard, maybe found his jump shot in Summer League, played well in Summer League, by the way. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he played well. I think there was one game where I think it was against the Thunder, and let me just make sure I'm getting this right. He had like 21, 6, and 5, and like hit a few threes, I believe, something like that. So if you're an Atlanta Hawks fan, you guys are getting a hard worker, still a young player, and I think he should get a few minutes here and there on the Hawks. So, okay, guys. Let's put a bow on that. Let's kind of move on. Speaking of Summer League, and I know I am literally the last Suns content creator, podcaster to talk about this. I was in Phoenix when Summer League was going on, visiting some family and friends. And when I came home, I was working my other job and just was busy with a lot of other stuff. I had literally zero time to cover Suns Summer League. And if you guys are new to this channel, or if you've been here for a long time, that's the first time in forever that I haven't been able to cover Suns Summer League. I believe I've covered all of Suns Summer League the last few years. But this was that 1 year I just couldn't do it. And it sucks because we just got Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro. So instead of wasting your time, I'm just going to kind of read you guys, because I watched a lot of film, like I mentioned. Oops, I hit my microphone, sorry. Just some raw notes, if you will. Like I was just watching the highlights recently and just was taking some raw notes. And to start it off, we'll start with Ryan Dunn since he was drafted first. Let me just say this. Obviously, the defense is real. It is a real thing. Now, we will have to see how good the defense is. Oops, I got to lower this banner real quick because we're not talking about David Roddy getting traded anymore. We're going to have to see how good the defense is in terms of when he's guarding players like Anthony Edwards or LeBron James or Jason Tatum, et cetera, et cetera. Now, again, he's a 20-something-year-old rookie, I believe. I forget what his age is. My brain's fried already. He's still a young player. He's in his first year in the league. Well, he's going to be in his first year in the league. But if Summer League is any indication of the defense being real, then I am excited. I cannot wait to see what Ryan Dunn can do against the best talent in the NBA. Can't wait. But beyond that, I wrote this down. I need to take a sip of my water. I'm sorry, my voice is cutting out. Ryan Dunn is bouncy. And the way I look at it, there's a difference between like athletic and bouncy. And he is athletic, don't get me wrong, but there were a few times during Summer League where I was like, damn, he is like springy bouncy. Like when he's just taking off for a dunk or maybe does a surprise block shot on somebody, like he is bouncy. I can't wait to see more of that. And I guess you could kind of throw that in with he's athletic. But in game 2, the Suns Summer League game 2, he stole it from somebody, just took off down the court and just threw it down. And I just saw a lot of plays like that where he just kind of surprised me with how bouncy and like athletic he is, if you will. And then obviously there's the jump shot thing. In all fairness to Ryan Dunn, again, he's going to be in his first year, guys. Let's give it time. I understand the jump shot could be a concern down the road. But y'all, it's not even training camp yet. Let's just relax. Let's give the kid time to work on his jump shot. And I hope that like as we speak and all throughout August and September and leading into training camp, that he is locked in the gym like he said he would be, just working on his jump shot. He pretty much said a version of that when he was drafted here. Pretty much say he's going to be locked in the gym. I hope he's literally working on his jump shot right now. Let's at least give the kid, is 10, 15 games fair? Because I feel like a lot of Suns fans are going to like, we'll be like 3 or 4 games in, and let's say he goes like 1 for 4 or like 2 for 5 or whatever in a couple of those games. Suns fans are going to freaking panic. Oh my gosh, Ryan Dunn went 2 for 5 and blah, blah, blah. Like, y'all, like, chill. Give the kid some time, y'all. But I will say this too, in my personal opinion. Now, I'm not a jump shot expert. I don't coach people on their jump shot, but like the form is nice. He's got a nice form when he shoots, but we'll have to see what it looks like. And that's where, like, you know, certain coaches are going to work with him and he's going to get a lot of time in practice and before the season. Let's just give it time, y'all. Okay. That's all I'm saying. My guy Sawbucks23 says, not worried about Ryan Dunn since he can learn offense from some of the best offensive players in the league. Exactly. Like, again, the coaches are going to be working with him, but you know, like Devin Booker's going to teach him some things. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, etc. Like, you know, appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that is in here, by the way. Thank you for being here, Denise. I appreciate you. Slayer's Icon, appreciate you being here. King J Rock, all you guys, thank you so much for being here, y'all. My guy, Sir Hamo, appreciate everybody that's in here, y'all. Like I said, this is going to be a shorter show. We're almost at the 30-minute mark. Still got a little bit more I want to talk about, but I am going to keep this under 45 minutes, y'all. But again, I promise you guys, we have all off season. I promise. We're going to do like 2-hour shows. It's going to get nuts, y'all. Just be patient with me, y'all. It's my first live show in like 2 to 3 weeks, y'all. Okay. But let's talk about Oso Ighodaro. Now, again, I know I'm the last Suns content creator, podcaster, or whatever to be talking about this, but I had to give you guys my thoughts. Oso Ighodaro. Is it fair to say maybe besides David Roddy was our best player in Summer League? I mean, I'm just saying. And I want to make sure I'm actually getting this right, too. Because I think I saw a tweet about this. Let's see, where was it? Maybe I didn't save it. But I saw David, no, wait, the Suns posted it. Hold on, give me a second here, you guys. The Suns posted it not too long ago. They posted not David Roddy. They posted Oso Ighodaro's stats from Summer League. And I just wanted to make sure I'm getting this right. Yeah, here it is. Yep. Okay, cool. So I can't play you guys the highlights because I'll get copyrighted, but let me share this tweet with you guys. Let's share this. And I'll give you guys kind of my like raw notes and thoughts and everything. So Oso Ighodaro, stat sheet stuffer. Oso Ighodaro did a little bit of everything during Suns Summer League. 7 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4.2 assists. More on that later, by the way. 1.2 steals, 1.2 blocks, 56.5% from the field, and 90% from the free throw line. Excuse me. I've seen a lot of I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat now worried about Oso's jumper. Look, y'all, you guys can call me a little overly optimistic here. I'm not too concerned with Oso's shot because I'm not expecting Oso Ighodaro to shoot. Now, real quick, y'all can call me crazy for saying this. I do believe in the floater. He's got like a little bit of a floater and sort of like a sky hook that not sky hook. That's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but a little bit of a hook shot that a lot of players don't use. And he did that a lot in college. The hook shot that like nobody uses, but a lot of NBA players should use. He does a lot of that. I'm not too worried about Oso and the shooting. There might be times where it could be troublesome, but like what's exciting about Oso Igdaro, if Summer League is any preview to what Oso can bring to this team, is, in my personal opinion here, because I mentioned the 4.2 assists. The way that he was not only just thriving when it came to, dribble handoffs or handing it off to another player, just the confidence level when he would do that, the way he wasn't scared to kind of quote play make. And again, like I wrote down so many notes with Oso Igdaro in terms of just him being not like an excellent passer, which I think he is a good passer, but like just a good passer, a respectable passer. Like I wrote down, like the handoffs and finding like a cutting David Roddy, for example, was the way that he did it with confidence was incredible. There was one play too, and I even wrote this down. I think it might have been against the Thunder, I believe. He had to take the ball. No, it was against the Pacers. I'm sorry. He had to take the ball up himself because the Pacers defense was just swarming us. He takes it up, kind of takes a minute, not like a full minute, takes like a few seconds to kind of analyze what's going on. David Roddy goes to the corner. He just dishes it to David Roddy in the corner. Bam, splash. Like, I love that. Like the confidence. And I think a lot of us knew that Oso Igdaro was one of the more brighter minds coming out of the draft. I feel like the IQ is going to be there. And again, just go back and watch the Suns Summer League highlights and just specifically watch Oso Igdaro. Watch those handoff passes. And not only that, watch when guys gave it off to him for a dribble handoff or, when they were throwing him lobs. He is going to be a lob threat. I even tweeted this. There was one play. I forgot who threw it to him. Somebody threw him a lob. I think he was coming off pick and roll or something. And I even tweeted out, I said, okay, now picture this, but with one of the big three. Picture Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, or heck, Grayson Allen throwing him a lob. It's going to be so fun, y'all. I think he's going to surprise us, kind of like with Ryan Dunn. I think he's going to surprise us with his athleticism, his bounciness. I'm excited for Oso Igdaro. Even though I will not let him live this down, Oso Igdaro is a bandwagon fan. I'm sorry. He said it on draft day, not draft day. He said it on their introductory press conference, not me. He pretty much said he was a bandwagon fan, even though he was just joking. But anyways. So yeah, guys. Now look, I do want to do a little more homework on how Oso looked defensively. I feel like from what I did see, his feet were in the right position. He was competing out there, but like we didn't draft Oso Igdaro for the defense. We really didn't. Although maybe one day it could be there. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. But those are just kind of my raw thoughts. And yes, I saw a comment here. Let me just make sure I'm getting this right. Trevor Bailey, appreciate you being here. He says Jalen Bridges is the sleeper. My quick thoughts on Jalen Bridges. First off, I'm excited he's on a two-way. And I believe you are right. I love the size. I love the length. I love the little bit of athleticism that I saw. But it's really the 3-and-D shooting. Good defender, competes on defense. And remember when I was talking about Ryan Dunn and how, in all fairness to him, the form is really good for him? Jalen Bridges, his not Mikal Bridges, Jalen Bridges, his form is nice. And from what I saw, he's a confident three-point shooter. I can't tell you off the top of my head how many threes he made. I'll have to do that in another live show, but I like the confidence. And I like the hustle that I saw out there. The guy just competes out there. And that's kind of why I wanted, let's say I did cover Suns Summer League a couple weeks back. I probably would have mainly just talked about Ryan Dunn, Oso Igdaro, and Jalen Bridges besides Colin Gillespie or whatever his name is, I believe they're the only players who are under contract besides like the Exhibit 10 guys, but you guys get my point. I pretty much just would have mainly focused on them. But yes, I agree. Jalen Bridges is a sleeper. Maybe throughout August, I'll talk about him more, but I did like what I see. I'm probably going to get this name wrong too. Michael DeBow. Excuse me. Michael DeBow, I believe his name is. Played pretty well for us during Sun Summer League. Isaiah Wong had some good flashes. I'm probably forgetting about a few other guys, but yeah, that's pretty much my extremely long overdue, late thoughts on Sun Summer League. Yeah. Every Suns fan I watched hated Weatherspoon during Sun Summer League. Did you too? I'll just say this. I think there was like one game where he played well. I don't know. if what you're saying is true, then it's probably a good thing I didn't even notice him. I knew he was on the team, but I Okay, anyways, you guys. Let's move on here because again, I'm going to wrap up the show here in a little bit. Sorry again for the quote short show, but I just had guys, I haven't been live in like 2-3 weeks. I had to give you guys a live show, especially since we actually made a trade. We made a deal today. And again, you guys, I'll talk about it more in a little bit, but lots more live shows on the way, lot longer live shows as well. Last thing I'm going to talk about here, you guys, because this is sort of the more like recent Suns news, and I've made a couple YouTube shorts about them, and I even made a full video. If you guys missed it, we recently signed, or I guess you could say sign. So no, hire is the correct word. Excuse me. We recently hired Brent Barry, former NBA veteran, NBA champion Brent Barry, excuse me. I love this comment. I'm sorry, guys. Suns Geek is using load management. Don't be alarmed. I'll talk about that later, but that's like, I'm going to highlight that comment. That's a great comment right there. But yes, that's sort of it. Anyways. But yeah, we recently hired Brent Barry, and I made a full video on that. You guys can go check that out. It was a great hire. And then like 1 or 2 days later, I believe Dwayne Rankin from the Arizona Republic had it first. We hired James Posey, another former veteran NBA champion who has tons of coaching experience. We hired him within like a week or like less than that, like 3 days. And I knew when Dwayne Rankin wow, I can't talk. I knew when Dwayne Rankin reported that we were going to hire James Posey. And more on that in a little bit, but I just really love both of these hires. And I know that assistant coaches only have so much authority and can only say so much, but like, guys, it's not really about that. Like the assistant coaches are there for a reason. They're working with certain players all season long, every day in practice, or every day there is a practice. They're writing down certain stats and writing down certain notes, and they're working with these guys. Like, I know this is a poor example. I don't even know why I'm using this example, but Mark Bryant was like DeAndre Ayton's coach for a long time. Like, they were always together. And in Devin Booker's early days, shout out to Cody Toppert, who is the Capital City Go-Go. That's the Washington Wizards G League team. He worked with Devin Booker like all the time. So Brent Barry, James Posey, et cetera, all these new Suns coaches that we have, they're going to be working with these guys. And again, check out my Brent Barry video. Check out the YouTube short that I made on James Posey. But these guys have lots and like decades of playing experience, coaching experience, and in Brent Barry's case, broadcasting experience, where he was sitting pretty much courtside watching these guys up close. I love these coaching hires. Oh, yeah. And Mike Budenholzer's our coach now. There's some Suns fans out there that are already waving the white flag and they're like, we're not a playoff contender and blah, blah, blah. We need to trade Bradley Beal. We need to do this and that. Y'all, let the season start already, guys. Like, let's give this team this team a chance before we start waving the white flag, y'all. Come on, man. I'm not saying all you guys are like that. I know a lot of you guys are more grounded and down to earth, but I've seen it a lot. But final thing before we get out of here, and speaking of the coaching thing, just wanted to kind of update you guys. Now, one name was left off this list, but he quote tweeted it. This is our current hold on, sorry guys, something's going on here. Ooh, my bad, you guys. Okay, there we go. This is our current Suns coaching staff. Obviously, head coach Mike Budenholzer, David Fizdale, who, it was reported that he was going to go join the Suns front office and decided to stay. That's another great coach who has tons of coaching experience, who was with us last year. And if the reports are true, was one of our more vocal coaches. Brent Barry, who we just talked about, James Posey, Vince LaGarza, is that how you pronounce that? Who was our Suns summer league coach. Chad Forcier, I believe his name is. And Chasian Allen. Hopefully I didn't just butcher all three of those last names. Now, the name that was left off there was Mike Hopkins, the former coach at Washington, I believe. And I made a full video about him a long time ago. So I really like our coaching staff. And I could be wrong, but I think there's another spot. Jason Kuhn says, Chasian Allen, really? Like, I'm not going to lie, I don't really know much about him. I don't even know if I pronounced his name right, but that's our coaching staff, y'all. Like, we could maybe go get another coach or a few other guys. Like, I don't know. But I like our coaching staff, okay? Guys, like I said, real quick, Brunist, I hope I said your name right, says, go get Jared Dudley at this point. That would be awesome, y'all. Jared Dudley's been coaching his way. I think he was like one of the assistants on the Mavericks the past few years. That'd be awesome to get Jared Dudley. I doubt it happens, but that'd be awesome, man. Anyways, so yeah, you guys, like I said, this is a very short show. I'm going to wrap this up here in a couple minutes, but in short, it seems like the David Roddy trade was a quote tax move or a salary cap move to potentially bring on, hopefully, and I think a lot of us would agree with this, to hopefully bring on a veteran point guard. Maybe a Tyus Jones in a shocker, or Markelle Fultz or somebody like that. I don't know. And then, I gave you guys my thoughts, my very, very late, extremely late, long overdue thoughts on Suns Summer League. I like Ryan Dunn. I really like Oso Ighodaro, and Jalen Bridges is a sleeper. And like I said, you guys, we're gonna hit the quote dog days of the offseason where like nothing's going on, but just stay patient, y'all. Like, I know a lot of you guys are big football fans. Football season, I think preseason starts like August 1st, right? We got the Olympics that just started today. Like, basketball season will be here fast, y'all. I can't wait. So to end the show, just want to kind of update you guys on what's been going on with me personally. I understand if a lot of you guys click off at this point. So a lot of you guys probably know this. I do have a second job, and I've been working a lot during the summer, and I go back to kind of my like quote normal hours earlier in August. So I took some time off. I went to Phoenix. Shocker, I know I don't live in Phoenix. I went to Phoenix and visited some friends and family. It was an absolute blast. And then when I came home, it wasn't that I was like jet lagged, because our flight was like super fast and it was smooth. This was before the whole what happened with that Microsoft thing. That sucks for everybody that was caught in delays and flights canceled. That sucks. Thank God though, because we did not experience that. That was like a week before, you know, uh, or I guess you say after, not before. It was a week after. But anyways, didn't get caught up in that, thank God. And when I came home, it wasn't that I was like tired, but I was just like, man, like there's really not much going on besides like Suns Summer League. And I think Josh Okogie was like re-signed around that time. And I was just like, it's like I'm just gonna take a few days off, you know, I'm just gonna chill. And like as my guy Sawbuck said earlier, I was using load management because I was working my other job. I would come home, play with my dogs, eat dinner, and I was just like, dude, I'm cooked. I'm like, I'm just gonna just chill and watch some movies. You know, like I was just tired, okay? But you guys know me. Check out the recent content. I was uploading YouTube shorts, a couple of videos here and there. So the content was still there, but it just wasn't really like I normally do. And if you guys are new to this channel, y'all, like I really do my best to pump out the latest Suns content, and I try to give it to you as best as I possibly can, but sometimes real life comes first, y'all. Let's be real. James Dolan says, Geek, great job as always. I'm super excited to get the season started. Amen to that. Book and Katie are going to come back with gold medals, and the Suns are going to take it to the next level. Go Suns. Exactly, y'all. Like, I might be biased. I might be delusional, but I think with how last season ended, I think KD and Book and Beal, they're going to come out with a vengeance. I think we're going to see a completely different Suns team, y'all. In fact, we kind of have to. Like, we have to see like a vengeance and like a fire in them. If not, it's going to be a long season, y'all. Let's see. My guy Sir Hamo says, you're a legend, Geek. Thanks for the best content. Thank you, man, for saying that. I appreciate it. And go check out the Suns Planet Pod. You guys do awesome work over there. I've been on your guys' show once before. I appreciate you guys. But I do my best, y'all. It's just at the end of the day, like I really do my best, and I spend a lot of time doing the Suns content. Even when I'm not uploading, like I'm always like working on this channel. So, okay, guys, I'm done. I'm going to go watch Deadpool, the first one, because I've been getting caught up. By the way, real quick, check out my t-shirt. Hold on. Let me put you on mute real quick. Mutant and Proud, baby. If you've seen X-Men First Class, which is arguably my all-time favorite X-Men film, you know what Mutant and Proud is? Mutant and Proud, baby. But yeah, I've been watching all the X-Men films recently, and now all I got to do is just watch Deadpool 1 and 2, and I'm pretty much all caught up. I even watched Loki season 2 and season 1 just because I wanted to get like fully caught up, because I haven't seen Deadpool 3 yet. Don't spoil it in the comments, but I think the whole not TSA, but the TVA or whatever is involved, and I don't know. But anyways, I'm excited. I'm going to go see Deadpool 3 this weekend. So yeah, you guys, great live show. I know I went almost an hour, even though I said I was only going to go 30 minutes, but whatever. So I'm out of here, you guys. I love y'all. I promise you guys, I promise more, longer, better live shows all August long. It's going to be nuts. I'm going to have guests on. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. So on that note, God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. Be nice to people. Be kind to people. I love you guys. Win or lose, Phoenix Suns for life. Peace out, and go Suns.
What's up, Suns?